In this video, you're gonna get to see new gameplay footage for new weapons, armors, mobs, new blocks, new structure, and more coming to Ice and Fire 2. Also, if you're bored by a section because your brain is fried from watching too much brain rot, I have timestamps on the play bar so you can skip to a section that you want to hear about more. Ice and Fire is one of the most popular mods in Minecraft. The first mod has almost 100 million downloads, which is crazy. And at this point, this mod is probably older than your grandma. If you don't know this mod, it is known as the mod that adds dragons to Minecraft. Yeah, that's literally all you need to know. And now they're cooking up the sequel to this mod, Ice and Fire 2, baby. And now I believe it will be the greatest mod of 2026 and one of the greatest mods in Minecraft. So in this video, I'm going to showcase what they're adding to Ice and Fire 2 and provide gameplay footage alongside it. I can promise you that by the end of this video, you're going to be hyped for Ice and Fire 2. Anyway, without me yapping any further, let's get to it. Let's start off with the new and improved silver armor. As you can see, it got a really beautiful retexture, and in my opinion, the original textures look like shit. Nah, just kidding, it's not that bad. But the retexture is much better. Silver armor now comes with a whole new unique ability, and I think they call it Holy Aura. And I can't take the name Holy Aura seriously because of all the Gen Z memes. But basically, if you're surrounded by monsters, you can summon this ring around you that will make you untouchable and will push the monsters back. And this actually makes the silver armor really useful, and I assume there's going to be a cooldown for it, or else it would be just too OP. They increased the armor points for silver armor. For example, the silver chestplate got its points increased from 5 to 7. Also, here's a cool detail. If you open up your inventory menu, the silver helmet will slide open and it will reveal your handsome face. And you probably already noticed the silver shield. This shield will give you 25% movement speed when you block attacks. Oh, and for all the horse armor fans, they're adding silver horse armor. Yay, more horse armor. Alright, the final cool addition to silver armor is that you can dye it. You can dye every armor piece, and you can even dye your silver sword. Dragons are definitely the biggest reason why people play this mod in the first place. And in this version, they've gotten a massive update. I covered dragons in my first video, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but here are some details you should know. The animations for the flying have gotten a lot smoother. The sound effects are more crisp.
I press G, I can roar,
You can do everything you could do in the first Ice and Fire, like breathe fire. You can roar and melee attack. The biggest difference is that when you make your dragon roar, you now get an effect called Draconic Rampage, which gives you a temporary boost where you can attack faster and deal more damage. They have obviously retextured the dragons, which a lot of people are trashing on because they say it looks too cartoonish where the original textures look more real. I personally like this retexture because I think it just fits the Minecraft vibe better, and after all, this is a mod inside Minecraft. Baby dragons have also received a really cute retexture compared to the first Ice and Fire where they just took the big dragon, shrinked it, and called it a baby dragon. This version actually has a unique texture. They gave baby dragons really big eyes that make them look so much cuter, and you can also put them on your shoulder just so you can flex to your friends how many dragons you have. Next up, we have wizards. These guys spawn inside their towers and villages, and you can trade with them using Sapphire. I will cover Sapphire later on in this video. Wizards have some really useful trades. Just like normal villagers, you can level these guys up by trading with them more. As you level them up, they will begin selling maps that lead to dragon structures. The first map you can get will lead you to a stage 3 dragon roost, and it will cost some Sapphire and a gold block to buy. The second map will lead to a dragon cave, which will have better loot and a bigger stage 4 dragon to fight. To buy this map, you need some Sapphire and stage 3 dragon skull, which you would obtain by slaying the first dragon at the roost. And finally, you can obtain a map that leads to a fire hold. And you're probably asking, what's a fire hold? This is a new structure that they added to the mod, and I will cover it at the end of the video, so stay tuned. This map will cost you some Sapphire and a stage 4 dragon skull, which you would obtain by slaying the cave dragon. And other useful items wizards sell are dragon bones. And if you don't know what dragon bones are, you can basically craft a lot of things with them, like weapons, arrows, and blocks. Another cool thing about wizards is that they can fight back, and they're actually quite powerful. They can cast spells, you know, because they're like wizards and shit. They have two main types of spell attacks. One is elemental, and then the other one is transmutational. Elemental attacks involve them using attacks like lightning, ice, and fire. And then for transmutational, they literally turn monsters into frogs. They turn the friggin' frogs! So yeah, you might want to think twice before trying to kill these guys because they can really screw you up. So far, we've seen 3 variants for these guys. We've seen the Savannah version, and we've seen the Snowy version, and the normal Plains version from the trailers. Alright guys, before we move on, make sure to like this video if you're enjoying it so far. Next up, we have the Dragon Bone Ballista, and this is probably my favorite addition to the mod because this thing is actually amazing. It's basically a giant crossbow that you can dragon place down, in case you didn't know what a ballista meant, because I'm a dumbass and I didn't know what it meant. But the best part about this thing is that you can shoot a dragon down from the sky and the dragon will fall to the ground and be stunned for a few seconds. Yeah, this is really good, especially if you're playing with your friends. One guy could shoot the dragon down and then the rest could deal damage to it while the dragon is downed. Also, the knockback on this thing is actually insane. Just look at how far this freaking Ravager flew back. And even better, you can one-shot zombies with it. And by the way, the Dragon Bone Ballista is very expensive. You're gonna first have to slay a dragon before you can obtain it. You're gonna need 2 dragon bones, 2 dragon bone blocks. I believe the bottom block is a bronze block, so you would need about 10 bronze. And you're gonna need a dragon bone bow, which costs an additional 2 dragon bones to craft. And a wither bone, which you obtain by slaying a wither skeleton. And finally, this thing doesn't use normal arrows. It uses an arrow called Dragon Bone Bolt. You can craft this by using 2 dragon bones and 1 iron. So this is where the wizard NPC would come in useful, because you can obtain dragon bones from him. Or you could obtain dragon bones the hard way, which is by slaying a dragon. Next up, we have a new and exclusive item to Ice and Fire 2, the Fire Dragon Scale Shield. You should get this shield in your playthrough because it can block any fire attacks from fire dragons. Yeah, that's insane, but what's even more insane is that this shield will also absorb the fire. This means that you can re-release the fire back at the dragon from the shield, and it will actually deal damage against the dragon. I know it sounds crazy, this footage doesn't really show it that well, but trust me, they're definitely adding this to the mod. This shield will also give you 45% movement speed when blocking. If you want to craft this shield, you're gonna first have to get fire dragon scales, so you would have to slay a fire dragon first. Flaming Dragon Sword. This sword was in the first Ice and Fire, but in this mod they're changing the way that you obtain it. In the first mod you could just craft it inside a crafting table, but now there are more steps to it. You're gonna first have to fill up a cauldron with dragon blood and then throw a dragon bone sword inside of it. And actually that's all you need to do. I don't know why I said there are more steps to it, but it's only like 2 steps. If you don't know how to obtain dragon blood, you're basically gonna have to slay a dragon first and then right click it with a bottle. The Flaming Dragon Sword will then emerge from the cauldron in a very cinematic way. This new version of the sword has 0.5 more attack damage, and I know it doesn't sound that good, but it does come with a new ability. This ability is called Flaming Sweep, and in the tooltip it says that it will knock back and ignite enemies. Honestly, it just sounds like a sword that got enchanted with fire aspect and knockback. However, it's not just a copy and paste of those enchantments, it also gives you the Draconic Rampage effect. As I mentioned previously, this effect will let you attack faster and deal more damage, and apparently it will make you draw your sword quicker. They did unfortunately remove the bonus 8 damage against ice dragons. Oh no! Bronze armor and weapons also got a major improvement. Starting off with bronze armor, it got a new ability called dodging. This ability gives you a slight chance to negate attack damage from enemies. As you can see in this footage, the player gets hit by a zombie, but the player takes no damage. You can tell that you took no damage because the armor will create this trippy effect that makes it look like you were moving really fast. Each bronze armor piece has 4% chance to dodge, so if you had the full bronze armor set, let me do some quick math here. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 16. So you would have 16% chance to dodge all attacks. 16% is a pretty good odd, especially if you're dookie at combat like I am. Then you can just jump straight into a fight feeling like a Chad and not worrying about getting bullied. And as you can see, the bronze armor comes with a cool new cape. And finally, the bronze sword comes with a new ability called Armor Pierce, which basically means that this sword can deal more damage against armored mobs. Next up, we have the gate block, or you can call it a fence, but basically you can stack these up to make a really big ass gate. Seriously, I don't know if there's a limit to how big you can make these things. If you push a button or pull a lever, the gate will drop at a really fast rate. And a cool detail is that if there are any mobs under the gate when it drops, they get hurt, just like me when I get rejected. We're also getting silver apples. Yeah, you thought we were done with silver content? Hell no. These apples give you frost resistance, which I think makes it so that you take less damage from ice dragon attacks. It will also give you this glowing effect that makes it so that when you walk really close to enemies, they get hurt because of how much aura you have. Dragon Bone Pickaxe. This pickaxe has the same mining speed as a netherite pickaxe, but it's actually better because it gives you the Draconic Rampage effect. The Draconic Rampage effect will let you mine faster, but in order to keep this effect going, you have to keep on mining without stopping. Honestly, I might just be speaking out of my ass, but that's what I understood from the dev videos. In the first mod, you could craft this item by using 3 dragon bones and 2 wither bones, but I don't know if they're gonna keep that recipe in this version. Next up, we have Sapphire. As I mentioned earlier, you can trade Sapphire with a wizard NPC. The best way to obtain Sapphire is to find Sapphire geodes underground, which is a new addition to this mod. They will basically spawn around the same Y level as amethyst geodes. Also, if anyone remembers, in the first mod, you could use Sapphire to craft ice dragon summoning crystals. This is an item you could bind to your ice dragon and then teleport it to yourself, so it would be cool if they would add that to Ice and Fire 2 as well. It's finally time to talk about the new structure in this mod, the Fire Hold. This will be a really rare structure to come across, but once you find it, you're gonna be stacked with loot. As I mentioned before, you can get a map from the wizard that leads directly to this structure. When you get to the entrance, there will be a long flight of stairs that descend down. Everything will be dark and scary, but have no fear, soon you will reach the main floor, and if you keep looking around, you might find a library. Inside the library, there will be chiseled bookshelves, and if you're lucky enough, you can obtain enchanted books by right-clicking them. Once you head further into the structure, eventually you'll find a hallway that leads to a giant room. In this room, there's a shit ton of gold and chests that may contain diamonds or more valuables. And you're probably asking yourself, all this loot for free? Wrong. Surprise, mother flipper. There's a big frickin' dragon sleeping in this room. This is a stage 5 dragon, the biggest dragon in the mod. And it will not like the fact that you just entered its domain. So you will have to be really sneaky, or you're gonna have to slay it, which is not an easy task for one person. So make sure to bring along your friends. I'm not gonna because I don't have any friends, but you should. Okay, so you managed to slay the dragon and you got the loot. There's one more surprise for you. Now if you look around, you're gonna see another room. What could be behind this room? Drum roll please. This room contains the Dragon Forge. Now fans of Ice and Fire 1 are probably wetting their pants with excitement, but if you don't know what the Dragon Forge is, it's basically a really big furnace that you could use to craft really powerful weapons. I'm talking weapons that deal like 31 attack damage, which is nuts. What I find interesting is that in the first mod you had to build a Dragon Forge, but in this mod it seems like you can just find it in this structure. Now I don't know if you can bring it back home or if you have to come to this structure every time. They only went over the Dragon Forge really briefly, so we're gonna have to wait for future updates to see how this works. A lot of people were asking me when this mod is gonna release, so I went on the Discord server to ask, and this is what they said. Unfortunately, the moderators said that there's no release date yet. And please do not go asking for release dates, they will delete your message and you might potentially get banned. Yeah, sorry about that guys, but I do have a feeling it will come out sometime early 2026, maybe in the next 5 months. Just my spider sense telling me that, so... But anyway, if you enjoyed this content, like this video, and consider subscribing because I am going to make more videos covering Ice and Fire 2 and other mods also. And let me know what type of content you would like to see. Anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.